A.J. Albrecht's speech, myself, and two other audience members.
In October 2007, Amanda Collins was walking to her car after a night class at the University of Nevada. She does in fact have a permit to carry her 9mm handgun, but the university is a gun-free zone. James Bila held her at gunpoint and raped her at the UNR campus. Bila then walked away and murdered Breonna Dennison. If Amanda Collins had her gun that night, would this outcome have changed? Does gun control help or harm our society? That's just a picture of gun control before and after gun control. The criminal still has a gun and the law-abiding citizen gets his guns taken away after gun control. I'm strongly against gun control. With the rising numbers of shootings happening, this major topic does need looked at. The Senate has been trying to pass stricter gun laws, and it seems assault weapons and high-capacity magazines are the target. The magazine is where the ammunition is stored, and the Senate is trying to limit the number of rounds that a weapon can hold. A person is just as effective and dangerous with 3 10-round magazines compared to the 1 30-round magazine that is trying to be outlawed. Assault weapons are also very hard to classify. This is an example of an AR-15 that has a 30-round magazine. If you are looking from Dianne Feinstein's point of view, anything that is black and has an adjustable stock is an assault weapon. That's Dianne Feinstein, and she's been a gun control activist since the 1994 assault weapons ban, and she is strongly for gun control. There are many guns of the same caliber that have a wooden stock and are permitted for hunting and are not even questioned in the outlaw. In the year 2011, assault weapons made up for 0.012% of the deaths in the United States. In 2011, there was 323 murders committed with a rifle, but 496 murders committed with hammers and clubs. Why are hammers and clubs not making the news and are not looked at more in depth then? Another major problem is guns that get into the wrong hands of people that are disabled and mentally ill. The shooting in Newtown, Connecticut is an example of this. Owning a firearm is a huge responsibility and should be taken seriously. The weapons and ammunition should properly be locked up, especially if you have children or anyone not qualified in the house. Adam Lanza was the shooter and was diagnosed with a form of autism called Asperger's syndrome and should not have been even around firearms. To take that many lives and be prepared as he was, he had to have some kind of experience shooting firearms. He also carried 10 extra full magazines that day. Where did he get these from? One of the main points in mandatory gun ownership is Switzerland. Switzerland has mandatory gun ownership with a very unique way of national defense system. They require every man to have some sort of military training for a couple weeks of the year for their whole entire life. All men between ages of 21 and 32 are given an M57, which is an assault weapon, and ammo to keep in their household. The crime rate is so low in Switzerland that statistics are not even kept. If one successful country wasn't enough, Kennesaw, Georgia took on the mandatory gun ownership in 1982. After the bold move was made, people were in shock that the crime rates dropped from 89% to 10%. Robert Jones, Kennesaw's historical president, said that the crime rate stayed at the same low rate for 16 years and counting now. The belief is less guns equal less crime, but in fact that is not true at all. It is illegal to own a weapon in Mexico, yet there was still 20,000 people killed last year. Also, there are no gun stores or even gun sales allowed in Chicago, yet it's one of our highest crime rates in the United States. We could solve these gun control issues by not taking guns out of law-abiding citizens' homes. We need more serious and harsher punishments for the violators so they get the message, and mandatory gun ownership is proving that it does work. The action we can take to this problem is simply getting more informed about guns. In conclusion, you would think stricter gun laws would be the answer, but when you leave citizens unarmed, they become more vulnerable and criminals become less fearful. That was just facts on the Switzerland for the gun ownership, and that's all.